Take it. All of it. I know where I'm going. He held out the bottle. The last one, still cold from the morning, the one he had been rationing for the past 4 miles of desert trail. The old woman sitting in the shade of the mesquite was past arguing. She was perhaps 75, in a cotton house dress that belonged on a market street and not here. And she had the specific, quiet exhaustion of someone who walked into the wrong place and kept walking until the wrong place became very wrong indeed. She took it with both hands. She drank. He watched to make sure she drank enough. His name was Colt Marin, 38 years old. He rode the Aldrin Desert Trail twice a week on his mare Fern, not for sport, but for the specific quality of thinking that happened at that pace and in that quiet, which had no substitute. He had his 4-year-old daughter Rue at home, with his neighbor Mrs. Hatch, and he had 2 hours, and he had given away his last water to a woman in a house dress sitting under a mesquite tree 11 miles from the nearest road. He was not sorry about it. "What's your name?" he said. "Edith," she said. "Edith Calloway." She looked at the desert around her. "I went to the market," she said. "I think I took the wrong road." "The market is north," he said. "This is south." "I thought it seemed different," she said. He looked at her face, the slight confusion that lived at the edges of it, the kind that was not distress, but that told him the wrong road had been taken before arriving here, and that arriving here had been several wrong roads compounded. He looked at his horse. He looked at the position of the sun. He did not calculate for very long. "Can you ride?" he said. She looked at Fern. "I haven't in 50 years, she said. "Fern's patient," he said. "She'll manage." He walked. This was not a negotiation. It was simply the configuration that the situation required. And Colt had been the kind of man who identified what situations required, and did it without making an occasion of the doing. They talked on the way back. She told him about the market, about her daughter Wren at home, about the specific logistics of a life that required managing several things at once, with neighbors who helped when it suited them, and less so when it didn't. She talked about Wren's paralysis, a car accident 3 years ago, and about the particular mathematics of caring for someone when you yourself were not as young as you had been, and your memory had started to make its own independent decisions. He listened the way he always listened, fully, without the slight drift of attention that announced itself as waiting for a turn to speak. "Your daughter," she said at one point. "You said 4 years old." "Rue," he said, "at home with the neighbor." "Her mother?" "She passed when Rue was 18 months, he said, quickly. He said it in the flat, complete way of someone who has processed something into the simplest possible sentence, and lives with the sentence, rather than the elaboration. Edith looked at the desert. "You're doing it alone," she said. "We manage," he said. "Rue's good at it. She has opinions." "Children always do," Edith said. "It's how they help." He looked at the trail ahead. Somewhere in the observation he had just received was something accurate that he hadn't put words to before. He stored it carefully. He brought Edith home. Her daughter Wren was in the doorway before the truck stopped. 34 years old, in her wheelchair, with the expression of a woman who has been afraid for 2 hours and is now recalibrating to relief. "Mama," she said, just the one word, everything in it. Edith climbed down from the truck with Colt's hand for balance, and walked to the door and put her hand on her daughter's face. He had Rue to collect, and the horse to settle, and the evening to get through. He left his number with Wren, because she had asked, and because the asking had the quality of someone who does not ask easily, and means it when they do. He drove home thinking about the water, about the fact that giving the last of something had not felt like sacrifice, had felt instead like the correct answer to a question the desert had asked. What he did not know, what he discovered 3 weeks later when Wren called to say thank you properly and to tell him what Edith had told her about the ride back, was that Edith had said, in the truck, something she had not said to the neighbors who helped for the wrong reasons. That she had been frightened, that the desert had been frightening, that the young man who walked beside his horse so she could ride had been in that hour the answer to a prayer she had not known she was still capable of making. Wren told him this on a Thursday evening. He sat with it for a moment. "She didn't seem frightened," he said. She wasn't by then, Ren said. You fixed that. He came on Saturday with Rue, who was in her car seat with opinions about the drive and a drawing she had made of a horse that she intended to give to the woman from the desert because her father had told her about it, and she had decided the woman needed a picture. Rue presented the drawing to Edith at the door, with the formal ceremony of a 4-year-old conducting important business. Edith received it the same way. Ren watched from the kitchen doorway. Colt stood in the hall, with the particular ease of a man who has arrived somewhere that feels without explanation like the right place to be. She draws everything, he said. Good instinct, Ren said. Drawing is how you tell people they matter without having to find the words. He looked at her. You're good at the words, he said. Necessity. They sat on the porch while Edith and Rue conducted a detailed examination of the garden, Rue providing expert analysis of each plant, and Edith confirming or correcting, with the patience of someone who finds this the correct use of a Saturday afternoon. Colt looked at the two of them, his 4-year-old daughter and a 75-year-old woman she had met 30 minutes ago, already in complete agreement about the primrose, and felt the specific, clarifying warmth of a day that was more than the sum of its parts. My neighbors help sometimes, Ren said, but not like this. How do your neighbors help? He said. With one eye on what they might need later, she said. You help with both eyes on the person. He looked at the garden, at Rue, who was now receiving a lesson on watering from Edith with the focused seriousness of a student who intends to retain everything. I just gave her the water, he said. You gave her all of it, she said. That's different. He looked at her then, this woman in the wheelchair, who spoke with the careful precision of someone who had been thinking about things for a long time, and had earned the right to say them plainly, and felt the particular recognition of being understood accurately by someone he had known for 3 weeks. Come next Saturday, Ren said. Mama will make bread. She needs something to make. We'll come, he said. They came the next Saturday, and the one after. Edith made bread. Rue ate most of it and had strong opinions about the amount of butter. Ren and Colt talked on the porch in the afternoon light, the gradual, unhurried conversation of people who are building something carefully because they understand that careful building is how things last. The desert had asked a question in July. By October, the answer had become a Thursday call and a Saturday visit, and a 4-year-old girl who had adopted an old woman's garden as her personal research project, and who drew pictures for people because her father had taught her, without teaching it, that this was how you told people they mattered. Walk beside the horse. The kindness that costs you the most is always the one that finds its way back to you, in the shape of something better than what you gave. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.